Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of Droppin Baums with me, your host, Corey Baumeister. As always, with the lovely folks here over at TCGplayer.com, bringing you the best in any kind of trading card needs. That's right, you're seeing it right. We're playing Merfolk. Merfolk is a deck that did pretty decently at this last Pro Tour. By decently, I mean one person played it to successful results, but that's because everybody else kind of thought this deck just didn't exist or it wasn't real, but after playing these matches, this deck is real. Okay, this deck is real and real good. We played 5 great matches. We played against Sultai a number of times, which I'm sure you're interested to see how we did against that, because me going into it, I would have had my strong opinions on that matchup. But after playing it, you'll have to see for yourself. We also played against White Weenie, and we played against Is It Drakes. So 5 great matchups. Feel free to fast forward to any of them with the hyperlinks below. You can also fast forward to the deck tech first if you want to see a little bit about the deck. I didn't give any spoilers for anybody who doesn't want the matches ruined. So check out that. And then feel free to go to TCGplayer.com, where I have a short write-up and a small sideboard guide for some standard Merfolk action. Enjoy the games. All right, and welcome to the games here. All right, let's get this fishy business underway. I'd love to play first. This probably is a bit too much land here. 5 land, probably a little more than we want to be doing here. So I think we're going to ship this one back. This hand seems completely reasonable. I will keep this. God, I miss casting Silvergill Adept. This is going to be nice. This is going to be real nice. Ooh. I think we can keep this. The king of the fish becomes quite excellent when you're putting counters onto this. You're able to loot. You can really do some really disgusting things quite quickly. Alright. Sultai, huh? I can't imagine this is a good matchup. This is one that I was very afraid of from the beginning. We're going to get on in there. No way that they can block because we could adapt. Alright. I think our goal is just to... Oops. I think our goal is just to get our creatures big enough with this to get them out of reach. More than likely gonna just be our play next turn. Get out of reach of finality, I should say. Alright. Now I kind of think we just play this and then draw a card. We could play this and this. That's reasonable as well. And then play this next turn to just start making them bigger. All reasonable. All pretty reasonable. I think we are going to start with this and then just draw a card. Alright, the Merfolk Lord does it all. Hostage taker. Not really cool. Alright, 1, 2, 3, draw a card. And we can Incongruity this, which is probably what we're going to have to do because that is our main way to win the game. Ooh. Could just go super wide with this. I think this is what we're going to do during their draw step, and then just, or during their upkeep, and then just draw a card again, and then kind of go nuts. Seems like the play to me. Gonna end. Start with this. Boom. Get that out of there. Give him a frog. Your captain's turning into a frog. Okay. It's fine. We're okay with that. Not going to be able to draw any cards or anything this turn, but if our opponent's spending their whole turn just to stop us from drawing a card, that seems completely fine to us. another Jade Light. Our opponent can't really attack into, ooh. Yeah, that's the card we're afraid of. That is definitely the scary one. But if we can get them out of reach, which I'm not sure we can. We don't know that our opponent for sure has a land next turn. So I kind of almost like just playing Deep Root Waters here. We could start with an Adept. I think that might be better, revealing this. Then if we get another, if we do draw another land, then we can at least get this out of range. And then we force them to finality. And then we can start playing this. It's definitely reasonable. Finality is the card I'm just terrified of no matter what. But I think that's the play we got to do. Get a little more aggressive than we normally would like to. Okay, so that is the land. Now we'll go like this. Now we'll go like this. So we can put a counter on something. And it doesn't matter too much. Looks like they're all going to be dead anyways. This would give us a loot. But this would just make sure this lives. I think that's more important right now. Because we're still going to get that loot with when we activate the Tyrant. And they're really forced to deal with this now. Otherwise, we're really going to get out of control very quickly. And unless they have another land, which I'm kind of thinking they don't, because they did miss a land drop in the past, plus Jade Light missed. I would assume that they do not. And the nice thing about Incongruity is it does exile it, so it does avoid the find. So we might be alright here. Because we can really crack back for a lot of damage here. Find does literally nothing right now. Ooh, they had the land. Interesting. They're deciding not to play it. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Alright, we'll tap 5. Well, if we just discard Deep Rotters, depending on how aggressive they get, we could just win the game here. Alright, because we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, I think that's too aggressive. Yes, yes. Do that. Oh. So if they have 2 blockers, we're only getting through 8. I honestly think they needed all of them. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now their board is better, which is unfortunate. So we're still forcing the finality, even if we just play 1. Is there any way we can make that Llanowar block? I don't think so. So they would just block with this. Let's do some math. So I want to save enough here. Ooh, are we running? We got an extension here. It's a tricky one. think we'll just go with this. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's not actually lethal. Then we're not dead on the crackback. Okay, that's what we'll have to do. That's all we're gonna commit. That was a tough one. So they're taking 10, and then we're just gonna say go. Lose our whole board, and they're gonna keep a giant jade. Now they can't get too aggressive with what they attack with. Yep, had to expect that. Okay, so now one big jade light versus a couple little fish. Luckily that's not going to be lethal as well. So now we're faced with a dilemma here. Do we go for the long game or do we just go to play it now? And I think the answer is long game. Because if we can chump this a few times, we're setting a lot better than us just getting down two big creatures. Or two okay-ish creatures. And now these two together are going to do some work with this deep root waters here. That's okay. Okay, Lana Werelf, I'm guessing going to the graveyard. Alright, now let's go nuts. Target merfolk you control. Okay, so we're going to start with this. Alright, so now this will trigger twice. Alright, so what do we want to happen here? I'm going to start with this. So that's 3, 4. I think we'll just max out on one of them here. Now we are presenting lethal even through these two explorer creatures here, which is insane. This Merfolk deck goes wide, and it goes wide fast. Vivian. Well, I don't think that's going to be enough.
Much more reliable than humans.
Really? Yeah, because we just put down this, and we put a counter on... maybe not. Maybe we do... No, because we get two counters. Yeah, okay. So we put a counter on this, and then no matter what, they're going to let the 2/2 through, and then one of the 3/3s. So this will be lethal next turn. Beat finality. Let's go. Yeah, that will beat us next turn. That's for sure. You cannot attack. Okay. Yep. That's exactly what we needed. I mean, I guess we didn't really need a land, but... Boom. Awesome. Game 1 to the fish. Alright, so Disdainful Stroke is definitely going to be our friend here. Tempest Caller seems interesting. We really just want to avoid finality. And unfortunately, Wild Growth Walker is also very bad for us. With that being the case, we almost just want a Tempest Caller. Could bring in more Tricksters to try to counteract the Wild Growth Walkers, but it doesn't seem very good. Doesn't seem like a very good plan A. It's a tough one, though. We don't want to go too wide against them because they do have those finalities. So I think we can shave on these for sure. Merfolk Trickster I really like against like White Weenie, but I don't think it really shines here. Tempest Caller could be okay. Really getting that last critical mass turn could be just exactly what we need. I'm going to use that as a one of, and I think 3 counters are what we want against finality here. So we're going to give that a shot. It's a tricky deck to sideboard with, for sure. Alright. Gotta love some standard Merfolk. I know I'm just taking Corbin's baby away from him here, but I just had no choice. This deck's too cool. Alright, we gotta mulligan this one. No green, big problem. Alright, this hand's fine. A Kimono Speaker, huh? I think we can do better than that. So we're going to put that one at the bottom. Alright, that is definitely better. So we'll go with this, and we'll start getting the deep roots going. I would love for this to be our turn 3 play, where we could loot. Ooh, card is so bad for us. Alright, I think that's what we need to be doing here. More than likely, maybe it's better to get the value. Wild Growth Walker is terrifying. We just have to hope our creatures can go wide and bigger eventually. It's not a Jade Light at least. Ooh, no Explorer creature. Excellent. Alright. Gonna pay 2 life. Don't really want to play this because if they do have cast down, it's pretty bad. Still probably has the biggest upside, so I think we should probably jam it. Alright. I'm going to put this on here. To discard, probably this. Could see a case for all of these cards, to be honest. Incongruity is not great right now. I think I would rather start just getting my creatures way out of range while drawing a bunch of cards. So no attacks here. See what they have to say. I mean, I guess if they go Hostage Taker, this is going to look kind of silly, but that's a lot better. 1, 2, 3. Alright. That's okay. Now we're going to start getting our creatures quite large. Alright, we're going to go with this. Put another counter here. Ooh, negate. Get rid of one of the Adepts here. And we'll go with this. So the first one, maybe we want to get in with one of these as well. So we'd have to put 3 counters on this. That is how many counters we're getting here. So I don't actually like that. I'm going to put the first one here. I'm going to put the second one here. And then this one we'll put on this creature. Just so they're not all in one basket here. Incongruity again. I think same option here. We're going to bin that one. Ooh, that's what we wanted. I think we probably have enough Deep-Root Warriors, but I don't know if that's actually true. I think we'll actually get rid of this. So we'll get in there with this. Boom. Big Pyromancer. Now our whole goal is to stop a finality next turn. And that might just be by playing a Deep-Root and holding up Negate. But it could also be playing Kamana and then Kumena. I know I'm mispronouncing it. You guys will all let me know of my mispronunciations. So Hostage Taker's great. Vivian, not that good against us right now, to be honest, or just in general. This is one deck that we have where Vivian just really isn't that good. Okay, so here's the question: what can we do best to avoid a finality? So if we go Deep-Root Warrior, we get 2 counters. We can go boom boom on Elite. And then this will generate us 4 counters. Like, we can just play into finality where it actually doesn't do much against us because we'll have such big creatures. I kind of like that better than holding up a negate. We might just be presenting some form of lethal here. One for you. One for you. Alright, now we're just going nuts. One here. And now we have 3 more, so unfortunately, we're not going to be able to keep anything else alive through finality. 2 is probably okay. So I think we'll put 3 on here so we can attack. Alright, so this is 14. So this is forcing at least 1 block from the Chupacabra onto here, taking 9. That's really all we can accomplish right now. And now finality, they get to keep a Wild Growth Walker, and we have 2 5/5s.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
So we're not that afraid of finality. Wild Growth plus Branch Walker, pretty solid. Now we'll just... Okay, Jade Light, very good. Finality there. Okay. So now X5s. Well, I like Kumana and just seeing where that leads. Leaving, probably only attacking with 2 creatures. Alright, so 3 counters. We want to keep stuff alive. So we also want to be able to attack with stuff. Let's start with here. And then, so we're getting 3 triggers total. So we can't keep anything else alive here, so we might as well try to get in some damage. So if we go here, here, and this one. Alright, I think we're going to discard Negate here. Because this allows us to, play this, which is actually pretty huge. Merfolk. Play this. So that gives us a 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we can try to get in there with this creature. So we'll try to pump here a couple of times. So the magic number is 8 power here as well. So we want to get this up and this up. Okay. 15. So we're going to get in there with this. We're going to get in there with this. And we're going to get in there with this. And then we're going to tap 5 to put counters on here to keep them out of range from finality. That way we would have 4 creatures that live through finality now. This is some fishy business, y'all. This is some fishy business. Wow. We're doing some stuff. Yeah, our opponent's in a tough spot here. Because they want to keep some stuff around. I think the best block they have is double Wild Growth Walker to this elite. And then chump blocking this one. I think that's the block I would do. And I actually regret putting one of those elite counters onto the other one. I think that was a mistake. Because if we put that to 6, then we're upgrading it to 7. And then you have to triple block pretty much everything. 6. All right. So 7, 10. So that's being killed. But we get to kill 2 of the creatures. So, yep, this is fine. And then we'll just activate this now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw a card, discard. Draw a card, discard. Alright. This is definitely a series of interesting events. A finality just doesn't do it at this point. We got rid of our negate because at this point we grew past it. Yep. Sultai is, I guarantee, not supposed to be a good matchup, but if you can navigate and correctly put counters, I mean, what the match comes down to, the whole thing is just trying to make sure finality has as small of an impact as possible. And if our opponent did go like Wild Growth Walker into Jade Light and just started attacking the whole time, I think we would have been in a tougher spot. But since that didn't really happen, we pulled away with kind of an easy, fishy victory. Stay tuned for round 2. Round 2 time coming at you. A little more fishy business here. All right, this is a keeper. We got spells. We got things to do with it. We can maybe get an early Deep Root Waters down. Ooh, is it Sultai again? They're on the mulligan. Ooh, that was a good draw. So I think we'll get that down. Now, the only thing that's bad about Incongruity is the fact that you can't get lands with it. Otherwise, this card would just be busted. Okay, so we're going to want to get this down. And then we're going to want to attack. Now, we're just going to play the Adept, revealing our beautiful Merfolk Lord here because we're very likely to play it next turn. Yeah, there is a chance we play Deep Root Waters, but being able to draw a card consistently seems very good to me as well. But our opponent could just cast down one of these in response, which makes it a lot worse. So actually, we probably are going to Deep Root Waters. Crisis for 1? That's extreme. I almost don't want to force through 2 damage. And just get this going here. Yeah, we're gonna. If our opponent's playing that aggressively here, we're just gonna do this. Say go. Draw a card. Then probably next turn get Deep Root Waters plus this. That's 5 Merfolk if our opponent does not answer this. But I have a high probability that we're gonna have to Incongruity like a hostage taker. Ooh, jellyfish. Alright, we're not going to be blocking. So we're just going to draw a card. Boink, boink, boink. Okay. And now what we want to be doing is getting stuff out of finality range if they play a land. If not, we don't have to worry about it. Interesting. Now we can just kind of go nuts. So we can only play 2 Merfolk anyways, so we might as well get this in play, and then the speaker, and then make them bigger. I think that seems like the correct play for now, and then next turn we'll start getting aggressive. This deck is sick. This deck is sick. I'm having a great time. Our opponent just has to deal with this at some point, otherwise it's just over. Vivian does not really do much. We're just getting close to the point where our opponent is just going to be dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 power.
Get that out of here.
All right. Well, this deck is sweet. Now, there is the 5th land, so finality is something that can happen, which we can't really play around too much right now, which is a problem. This is the only thing that would live currently, which is not my favorite. But, ooh, yeah. I actually just saw a nice line that we were going to take if our opponent just didn't concede, was Trickster their Llanowar Elf, and then stop them from finality for sure, and then it's just over. Okay, so we need to have some counter magic. And I think that's all I know for sure. Disdainful Stroke seems great. Now, what is bad? I'm thinking some of these, and I'm thinking these are quite bad. They just don't seem very high impact. And then I want to just diversify some stuff. I'm kind of thinking this. I also think Trickster is not very good. But if we're on the draw and they try to go Wild Growth Walkers, it's something that actually can interact with them. So I think it's reasonable. I like 4 counter spells. And then everything else I really like. So let's run it. Merfolk. We're just crushing it against, you know, the deck that should be really beating us. That's some exciting stuff. All right. So this hand looks great. We're going to keep her. All right, Lawnmower coming down. Now, we'll go with Merfolk here. All right, and I think we just want to go with this first. We do want to eventually start looting here because we do need lands. Deep Root Elite will not work very fast with this. If our opponent attacks, yeah, I was going to say, I think I would have, ooh, a Cry. All right, that changes things a bit. One play I kind of like here is just, no, that's not that good. I was going to say double Jade Barrier to get this out of range, but that's not very good right now. We're just going to get the Elite and try to do some busted stuff next turn. Cry on top, I mean, sure, they could play it now and 2 for 2 us, but if they don't play it now, we're going to make that card dead with the way we're going to play around it. We're going to try to save our best creatures. No blocks to that. And we're going to try to get in some damage here. That was a great draw. So, now I think we can do a great job of getting basically everything out of range with this and a Jade Barrier. Yeah. I mean, if anything, we can do some damage. Okay, so we get a counter here. We're going to want to put it on... So this has to have a counter to survive. Now if we go Jade Barrier, that's going to be able to put 2 counters on things. So the first one, we want to keep this alive. And the second one, we want this alive. The only card we're losing here is Jade Barrier. We'll get rid of one of these. We don't want 2. And now we get to get in there for 6. And now Cry basically does nothing. But now we need to start playing around Finality next turn, which does do a lot. And this one's a lot tougher to play around, unfortunately. More Jade Light. And a bunch more land. Okay. Now we'd have to get 2 counters on this, and we'd have to get basically 2 counters on this. So this generates 2, this only generates 1. So I think we just Incongruity to try to get the Lord. The Lord is what we really want right now. Ooh, Tempest Caller's pretty good. Yeah, okay. We'll try to save a few creatures. We're going to go with this one. We have to put it here. And then this one. One here. And then nothing else gets saved through Finality, unfortunately. So I think we're just going to attempt to start saving something and hope they don't have it next turn. And play this tapped and then try to do a Tempest Caller and get through lethal next turn if they don't Finality us. But they do know about it, which is not as good. Finality is a Wrath for their entire board, but we do get to keep 1 creature. Obviously not ideal, but we'll play this. We'll get in there. We probably overextended by one creature there, to be honest. If we held one more back, the outcome was still the same. Hostage taker. Okay. And we should just probably be dead now. It's going to be tough to come back. This is a start. We're just going to have to draw more. And it's not very good against Cry, so we're probably going to take all of these out. Our opponent did set this up pretty nicely. Not much we could do besides draw into a counterspell. So it looks like we're probably going to lose this one. We'll just pass. Maybe we can do some kind of tricky stuff. It might get themselves a little too low. Yeah, unlikely with all these crises. Okay. We'll try to play a Trickster. Get an extra token. It's just not going to be enough. This deck doesn't really come back. That's what we needed a while ago. If we had that before, that would have been game, but... Alright, I like our chances a lot more on the play. Alright. Tempest Caller doesn't seem great. I think counter spells are just better. And maybe we just want to be more aggressive. On the play, these definitely seem better. Get the Tricksters out of there. This is kind of what I like. Just try to be very low to the ground, aggressive, still try to win with this, and then have 4 counterspells to back it up. Reasonable to me. All right, Sultai. We can't have talked all this talk to just get beat to it in the end. So this is a big game for pride. We'd love to play first. Ooh, no. Okay, this is reasonable. I'm gonna keep. I think we're gonna put this on bottom. If we could play this on turn 1, I think it would be a lot better. Well, that's not necessarily true, because we could play Adapt into this. I kind of want to cast Incubation on the first one to try to find the Lord or something. So yeah, we're actually going to bottom this. Dig. Alright, we did find the Lord, both of them. But this is definitely the important one. Alright, we're going to start drawing some cards. Silverlet Adapt. Probably not playing this next turn since it doesn't do anything yet. But it is more mana efficient, and this is a card that is very hard for them to actually kill. Alright, well that's a good draw. This is what we want to be doing then. I'm going to go like this. And we're going to play this and be able to actually attack. Alright, Wild Growth Walker's terrifying though. There's no way around it. We're going to need to start going wide and going way bigger with this here shortly. Yep. Alright. Now, we can put a counter on this with this and then draw a card. I think that's our best play. And actually, we're going to draw a card here right away, because we might top deck a 1-drop that we might want to play. And we did. Is it that good? It's decent. I don't think we don't play it. I almost just want to put a counter on itself, though, just to loot away a card. So we're going to attack. Jump blocking, no blocks. Alright, we don't want this breeding pool in our hand. Finality's not quite in range yet, even though Cry would be okay, but not anything too special. Fix our hand a little bit. Now our opponent basically has to hostage taker this now, which is going to work, unfortunately. Ooh, maybe their land situation isn't agreeing with them. If that's the case, then we get to start going nuts with this card. That's fine. Alright, time to start going nuts. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so we're going to start with this. Revealing this. And now it's, what do we want to make bigger? We want to start getting a lot of stuff out of range. So we need a counter on this. Okay, pretty good. And now we're going to play this. And now we need to start growing this. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can tap 5. Creatures we don't want to attack with are probably these. There's a chance we'd rather get this into combat than this. But I don't mind actually... Oh, we're going to get to draw a card regardless. So I'd rather keep this behind. So we can attack with 2 creatures. And then pump the team with the rest. We're doing some big stuff here. Alright, we'll still kill the wild growth. Tap 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Submit. Alright, get rid of that land we just drew. Boom, boom. Alright, now next turn we're just presenting lethal. We got some big fish. Oh, another... Branchwalker is okay, but I don't think this is going to be enough. Now our goal is to try to get everything out of finality range. Is it possible? So we need a... We can already tap creatures to get that out of range. So this would need a counter. And this would need a counter, which we can do. So 2 counters. 1, 2. And now we just need to pump everything by turning them sideways. And we get to loot. So, for sure this, 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 and this. These are our best creatures, which we don't want to die in combat. Alright, we're going to discard this. 6, 5. So... we could... Finality doesn't do anything. But we'll play this anyways. We'll boost this up just because it's getting in there. We'll attack for lethal with 2 Silvergill Adepts. Force some blocks. Okay. Crunch, crunch. Your turn. I don't know what finality will do here. Finality would kill 2 creatures. That's all we had to do was just craft this whole game to avoid finality. Yep, that resolves. Lowers everything by, lowers our power by quite a bit. And puts a lot of creatures in range. Yeah, I mean, it just didn't matter. Didn't matter. We could take another turn off if we want, just to grow the creatures with our Lord. Or we could just probably attack and it would be lethal here. So, I don't know. Merfolk, I think, might be the real deal here. This deck is sweet. It's really sweet. Stay tuned for round 3. Round number 3 coming at ya. I'm loving this deck, y'all. I am loving it. Okay, I would love to go first. This hand is sweet. This deck is sweet. You guys are all sweet. We're all sweet. Alright, so our hand is completely fine. Going this into this into this. Drawing a card is great. Even Deep Root Waters is fine. Okay, so does this... Or an island specifically. Okay. Well, walking into shock here is kind of lame, but it's still worth it to try this. Because if it works, that's just a nice chunk of damage already. Yeah, had to expect that was going to happen. Okay. So, mono red is definitely going to be a little scary. Chain Whirler and Deep Root Waters. Oh, okay. Drakes. That's better for us. That is better for us. Now, we want to get this down when we can actually immediately pump it, because once it gets out of Lava Coil range, it's very hard to kill. So we're going to play this first, even though it doesn't do much now. But even next turn, if we play this, we can draw a card. We're getting a little flooded here, so that obviously is not great. Okay, that's really good. Wow. Okay. Well, we do this. Get a Merfolk. Do this. Get a Merfolk. And we make them all bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what they can do. Some fishy stuff here. Some fishy stuff going on. We have a lot of power out of nowhere here. We had 1 power before this turn, and now we have 13. Ooh. Yeah, that's annoying. But now we just get to start getting in there. Also completely fine. Alright. Gonna put this on this. Try to just go wide on him. That's 11. Don't think we need the land for anything. We might get something where we can loot. Chart. Maybe get a couple arc lights. Yep, there's one. But at this point, it's just defensive arc lights, so maybe we're still okay. If they put another one in, then we're probably in a little bit more trouble. So this is just a 3/5. Still plenty good. Not another one, please. Okay. What else you got? Condor 1414. Kevin Bacon Bolt. Okay. Well, this almost assuredly keeps our opponent alive. Yep. They're only taking 2 here. Ooh. That was huge. Now this makes sure... Yeah, I mean, there's just no reason to not go for this right now. Zoinks. Get on in there. Because the 4/4s have to be chumped. Or, you know, put this in front and it doesn't kill anything. Our opponent can take 6, but that's probably not a winning line. Okay. Leaving them without an Electromancer. Obviously, if we lose Mistbind here, our situation gets worse. But they're at 1 now, and we have a lot more Merfolk than they have Merfolk. Wow, we're doing it. We're doing it here. Yeah, I mean, they can kill a couple things. Yep, they got to stop a few more creatures here. Gonna need like 2 removal. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? Merfolk, Merfolk, Merfolk. All right, what do we like? What do we like? Kind of like the Spell Pierce because I anticipate them bringing in the Pirate Clasm, whatever they call it. Okay, Crushing Canopy is pretty good. Harpooners, I don't see why they would be bad. I mean, killing Crackling Drakes and stuff seems good. Not a big fan of Tricksters in this matchup. I think we can shave on the Waters. And these are probably not that good either. So if we're taking those out, bringing in Harpooners seem great. They're basically green Doomblade against their deck. Kind of like the Spell Pierce. And yeah, if we cut a couple of those, I mean, it does deal with Niv-Mizzet, which seems good, but we do have other stuff to deal with that. I think we're going to run it like this. Try to swim around their removal. I'm going to be making a lot of fish puns here, so buckle up, everybody. All right, on the draw, we can't cast a single spell, so we're going to have to mulligan this. Reasonable hand. Get the Pyromancer, or maybe we can just Incubation right away. Ooh, that's a good one. That gives us our answer. Yeah, I think we just Incubation now. Deep Red Elite seems great. I still think Adapt is going to be, or Adept, Silver Gill Adept is probably going to be our first play revealing this, and then we can go both of these in the next turn. Now, Electromancer is what we don't want to see, unfortunately. Alright, so yeah, we don't want this to just die, so we're going to play this first. Revealing the card they already know. Okay. So now our whole goal, similar to Sultai, where we were just trying to get out of finality range, now we're just going to be trying to get out of that Pyroclasm range with our best creatures. And the real question is, can we do it? I know we can with at least one, but let's get real, they don't have it if they're playing two of those. So for now, we're just going to get in there because we're completely content with them blocking. Okay. Now, we're going to go with this. And then we're just going to play a Pyromancer here and put a counter on it and try to get rid of some of our land. We're a little flooded. Alright, so we'll give them a good Pyroclasm if they have it, but not too worried about it right now. Kevin Bacon Bolt. Alright. Ooh, that's good. So we're going to play this. And then we're going to play this barrier. And we're going to put it on here. We're risking the shock, but... Okay, we'll discard a Breeding Pool. And we'll get on in there. Pyromancer is looting us through this deck. Now, I have Beacon Bolt, which can kill... Well, it's only for 2 right now, so it's not that big of a deal. It's fine. We're going to save this for Niv-Mizzet. So that is one way we would lose this game. Alright. Now, I mean, they could... Their last card could be a shock, but it's not worth the risk. Alright, and it could be Pyroclasm now, and they get to get our creatures, but my money is on a Niv-Mizzet. Or a Crackling Drake. Some threat they're trying to... Okay, it was neither. I'll immediately be put down there. So this will probably just be killing this. Okay. And now we don't have a lot of threats. Just kidding. Just kidding, the game's probably over. Alright, so we're going to play this. We are going to start by drawing a card. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Fortunately, we don't have anything to reveal yet, so I think we're okay playing the land this time. So we might have to hardcast this. Hardcast is in, I mean, just paying 5 since we don't have another Merfolk. There's Harpooner's food. Alright. Unfortunately, I still think we're going to draw a card here. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunate. Could just play this, since this isn't super threatening yet. So, I mean, Niv Mizzet is what absolutely will destroy us. For now, just 5 damage isn't that bad. We are going to do this. I'm not positive about this, but we do get to draw 2 more cards now. Now we just get to pump the team. So it is a shock. We will start by drawing a card. Okay. We're going to put this on this to avoid Lava Coil. And that'll be everything. Now we just get to start building up an army if they don't deal with this. Okay. A Beacon Bolt is probably the least thing we want to see right now. But even with a Beacon Bolt, I think we're sitting in a good spot. We've assembled quite an army. This deck is sweet. Oh, man. I was thinking, see, our opponent just binned a Lava Coil, something they would not have done if we didn't put a counter on this. I mean, this is 9 here, so I mean, we are taking a lot. Really? Maybe we did make a mistake by getting a hit there, because they play another one. Okay. All right. Well, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is only 9. So we're going to start with this. All right. And we're going to tap 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This still adds more power than just attacking with those creatures. And this is only 10, unfortunately, but we got 2 Harpooners now. I guess if they do have Dive Down, it would be pretty scary. But they do have Reach, so I'd be able to block next turn. Wow. Our opponent put themselves in a position to win. Unless we drew this second one. Take action. And now you can't possibly win. Hiya. Merfolk, merfolk, nothing but folks under the sea. All right, we're 3-0 with the fishes. Let's see if we can keep it going. Stay tuned for round 4. All right, we're back. I want this 5-0 and I want it bad. I think this hand is fine, actually. Like, the amount that we actually get to loot to find this, and we don't want to draw a bunch of lands, so we don't want to get flooded, I'm going to keep this. Yeah, I think this hand is actually good. Unclaimed Territory is one heck of a land in this deck. All right, our opponent's on the mulligan. Little Red is their name. Red is not their game, apparently. More Sultai. It's just everywhere. All right, so we'll go with Merfolk. Mix it up and try Merfolk. Pyromancer here so that Jade Barrier next turn can at least loot. And now our whole goal, once again, is to just fight finality. Try to get this out of finality range first, and then try to get everything else out of it. It's really all it comes down to. Sultai can't do much if you just get an army and it's out of finality range. That's how they come back. Okay, now we would love a land. Ugh. Okay, our opponent saw through our plans. Are they watching this video early? Am I streaming right now? We getting ghosted? So now this hand has a fail rate now that they know our secrets. But even one land and we start adapting to our surroundings. Yeah, not much we can do to like a hostage taker. But our opponent is down to 2 cards. Yep, not going to block there. Well, I still think it's just Adapt here. The Adept, I should say. Now that we drew the land. I'm going to reveal this. Draw a card. And we're going to pass it right back. Now, the card we're really afraid of is like Vivian Reed. I don't want to see that card, but if we actually get a land, we can kill Vivian Reed. Exactly with 6 damage. So, and we get 2 looks at it with Jade Barrier. Krasis is also pretty bad. Any other payoff cards here is a little tricky for us. Yep. That's okay. It's time to go wide. Alright, well, I think we start with this. Counter. Now we just have to be vulnerable to finality for a turn, unfortunately. Just not much we can do. Gonna get rid of this Trickster. Yep. Gonna get rid of the Trickster, and we're just gonna play this. Unfortunately, the situation that we have done in the past, trying to get out of finality range, is something we don't have the luxury of right now. Next turn, we can cast the Kamana and hope it's good enough, but if they have it specifically on this turn, we're probably losing the game. Okay. That's not a finality. That is a Vivian, though. So now we really want to land so that at worst we can, okay. Okay, that's good. Now we can start at least putting counters on our creatures. Yeah, that's really only our option right now. All right. Your turn. No point in us doing it yet because we might want to block. Can attack Vivian, but we can just try to win this game in a few turns, but unfortunately Vivian puts us on a timer as well with that ultimate. Okay. Not the biggest deal. In combination with that, it gets a little scarier. Yikes. Okay, not in the market for that. They're just trying to finality us, it looks like. All right. Make them bigger. And we get to loot. Don't want to land. Not exactly what we wanted either. Nothing we really want to kill. Okay, our opponent is getting dangerously close to attempting to kill us. But we need to find something here. An elite is pretty okay. Elite is pretty okay. We're going to take it, but I think we're just going to play the waters here. Just going to attempt another Adapt. Next turn, we have to make a move at Vivian, and Krasis is going to be starting to get close to doing some damage to us, so we really have to start answering things instead of just setting up. But no real choice we have right now. Our opponent's kind of beating us on all metrics. That's a bad one too. That's kind of why we're hanging on to this. So this is going to spell bad news because we can't activate it. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They have Xaxes lethal. It's unfortunate for us. Alright, well, can only tap 3 Merfolks to draw a card. 1, 2, 3. It's going to have to resolve. Not loving our chances on this one. Because I don't know how we can actually touch Vivian Reed now. The fish might be getting turned into fish sticks here for this game. They kind of get some free attacks because we really need our whole board to be able to expect to pressure stuff. That's not what we needed. Yeah, our opponent's going to get to ultimate Viv no matter what. We'll have to pack him in. Fish sticks for this round. Alright. Doesn't mean we're afraid. Disdainful Stroke, still good. I liked how our sideboarding was before. I think on the play we want these to be more aggressive. With still having like 4 counter spells. I also like at least 1 Tempest Caller. This is, I think, what we were doing before and what I tend to like. So I know it's a 1 of it, so it's a little random, but you really don't need more than 1 of that effect. It's going to win you the game a high percentage of the time that you play it. So 1 is the perfect number. Mwah. Magnifico. Magnifico perfecto. All right, game 2. We are up. We are 3-0 with this masterfully built Merfolk list. I think it was Raph Levy who played it at the Pro Tour, and I was just mind blown. I was like, what? Merfolk at the Pro Tour? But I mean, it seems like he must have did pretty well with it, and it does do some things that you know, I would not have expected coming into this week here. I was like, let's try something fun and mix it up and try a different deck. You know, something a little off the radar, but who knew, or who would have known we just stumbled into a tier 1 deck that just wasn't quite on the list. All right, game 2. Alrighty, let's play first. We got our 1 of Tempest Caller. In our opener is not ideal, but this hand is fine. We need a land, and we have no real way to look for it, and the deck does play a small amount of lands, but still think this is fine. Alright. Pay 2. Be able to attack with a 3/3 next turn, thanks to Mistbinder. And it does trigger off Breeding Pool. For some reason, I thought it was only Basic Island. I guess every time we played a Breeding Pool, we also played a Merfolk. Alright, that was great. Let's get on in there. We got the beats. Now, more than likely, we're going to be playing Deep Root Waters next turn. Okay, now it's interesting because this would be pretty good because we get to draw a card, and we'd only miss out on 3 damage. So yeah, I think we actually are going to play this. Mostly because there's no real good way to kill it on turn 3. So we get to abuse it for 1 extra turn, which is huge. This is highly likely a Jade Light, yep. Duress. I hope they keep that. Okay, we will make sure to adjust our hand if our opponent does keep that. Nope. Contempt. That's probably one they keep. Alright, we'll draw a card. 3 damage was definitely worth us drawing an extra card here. And that was a good draw. That was a good draw. Okay, so Merfolk. And now we get up to 5 creatures. And make them all a little bigger. Your turn. Very likely a contempt. Which is bad for us. There's no way around that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, unfortunately, we have our one trick pony here. It'd be great if we had more of them, but 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, we get a good half of their life, but it's going to be tricky to sneak in damage after that. Without just suicide attacking our merfolk. Especially if they have like a branch walker here. Now we need another one, even though we only brought in 1. Yeah, Thief doesn't seem very good against us. Really need another Lord of some kind, either this or obviously the Tyrant. This could be okay. We get a loot out of it at least. Now, what is our options? If we get finality, it's not finality time yet. But if we attack with everything, this blocks here, this blocks here, this blocks here, this blocks here, and takes 5 damage, and we lose it all. Not worth it yet. Might be worth it next turn, because if the writing's on the wall that we're going to get finality'd, then we might as well get in some damage. But if we were to top deck our Tyrant here, we get to double pump everything, which would get everything out of range from finality. Our opponent is just gaining so much life that I think that's like our only out at this point. Well, no choice but to cast it. It's a big yikes. The attacks are not better this turn, and their opponents have way more life, so we're at that point where if they have finality, they win. Just straight win. The fish are fried. We're not undefeated. Unfortunate. Yeah, there's just nothing we can do now. I hate to be the one to scoop prematurely, but we're dead. Sad. Sad. I wanted to be undefeated with the fishies. Ah, well, stay tuned for our 5th and final round, everybody. Let's get a good 4-1 with the fish. All right, our final round coming at you. I want it. I want it. And I want to take a moment to quickly just realize how great our opponent's name is right now. Look at this. Falcon Kick. Any Smash Bros fans out there? I thought that was pretty cool. All right, everybody. 5th and final round. Let's do this. I think this hand is fine. We're gonna Incongruity right away. I wish we could get a land, but all right. So our opponent's on the mulligan. Gotta get the best card in our deck, right? Alrighty. So we'll pass it back, and now it's the question of what do we play right away? Ooh, against white, I think we want to start to get our value. Pay 2 life. I would like to draw a land as well. But I think getting this down and gaining the huge amount of value that this card gives us is more important against white than against really any other deck. This is a deck where we don't have to worry about a Wrath, so we can just kind of go nuts. Flying creatures are a bit of a pain. Alright, well, we want to draw a card, And we want to hit a land drop, so I think we got to start with this. Gonna reveal Jade. Ideally, we'd have 2 lands on top, and we could play these next turn. Yeah, this is gonna be the blocker. Unfortunate. So, we don't want this to get in the air. Yeah, I mean, we do some heavy blocking here. Oh, is this a Loxodon Conclave? That's pretty good. I think we're going to block this. Flyers are going to be a problem, so we might as well try to cut down on their count here. Not great. So, we're going to play this and this. Try to get stuff out of range a little bit. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Land creature. That won't flip, or that won't ascend yet. Not bad, not bad. Yikes. Still missing this land drop is not cool, but playing this does help our situation a little bit. This is pretty much can block anything on their board. And that will ascend. Obviously very scary. Very scary. Okay, we need to draw lands and we need it now. Well, can play another one of this. 3/3s are not that big of a deal against their board, unfortunately, so I think we'd rather just get a couple creatures and try to make one of our blockers big enough to live through everything, which means we'd have to put it on this. Of course, not sitting great here. If we had a 3rd land faster, I think we would be doing better. Ooh. Our opponent is not... Our opponent is saying math is for blockers. Okay, I'm kind of thinking... this, if this doesn't just kill us. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is 12. This is 12, huh? Don't know what other real options we have. If we block with this, we lose it all, so we'll try this. Obviously, this is not going to work out great for us. Yep, that's game. Can't block the Flyers. Well, I honestly believe if we would have hit our 3rd land drop on time, we could have built a bigger board. And that turn, our creatures would have just been bigger. But, not the case. Alright. I don't think we have much for this matchup because I think this should be a good matchup. Bring in that. I really think this should be a good matchup. We just get to do whatever we want. I don't like incongruiting them, so we're going to take a few of those out. I like Crushing Canopy, destroying the enchantment. But I think that's all we want. Minimal sideboarding against white with this deck. I mean, we're a creature deck that just goes bigger and wider. Theoretically. Of course, they have some of the best cards in the format, so they can just outclass us, but we'll see here. Not great, not great. Got to mulligan that. This hand is good. Do we have time for this? And I think the answer is yes. So we're going to play this first and then into this and hope we have enough time to stay alive here. This deck is fast. Alright, so we're going to reveal. We're going to not give our secrets away with the with that card quite yet. Really think it's going to be time for the waters. Especially if our opponent's doing nothing. That's nice. Alright. Let's get this going. Quick defense. And now let's just go nuts. History of Benalia. Yep, one of the best cards in Standard, but I don't know if it's going to be that great against us right now. I kind of think Kamana and draw a card is probably the best. Yep. So we get a Merfolk, we just get to say go. And now, of course, we don't want to see Conclave. Alright, draw a card. Now we're hoping to do some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff we shall do. Let's start by doing this. It's all interesting. I think I want the Pyromancer, to be honest. Really allows us to start generating and fixing our hand. Alright, so we're gonna go with this. Get a token. Go with a Pyromancer, get a token. And now we get to just put counters on, but we almost got to put counters on and draw a card here. So now we're getting a big beating, though. These knights are going to be big. Baffling end. Interesting. Well, we just let that resolve. Alright. Now I would like to kill this. And to kill that, all we need is 2 blockers on it. I don't want to waste stuff on the knights yet. Just because... Ooh, actually, yep, we can triple block with this. That's even better. 1, 2, 3. And now we get to make them all bigger, and we only lose 2 of them. All right. We'll discard this. Merfolk Trickster is a great draw. So once again, we're just going to be going very wide here. Now, what do we want to put a counter on? Probably the Pyromancer. Loot through our deck a little bit. Don't want that. And then no reason to attack yet. We're just trying to build up a massive board. Something we should be able to do quite easily. Pretty good against us. Don't get me wrong. Alright, so we're going to tap this down. But we're just going too far wide, unfortunately. Yep, I mean, writing's on the wall. Writing's on the wall. So on the draw, the enchantment gets a little worse. But I still think it's very, very important part here. I actually kind of like Spell Pierce on the draw instead of one of them. Getting a history or getting a conclave, something like that is very, very huge. That's really all I like. I don't like 2-mana counter spells against a deck that's very fast. Let's see if we can Falcon kick our opponent into next week. Alright, I think this hand is fine. Our opponent looks like they're on the mulligan. Okay, we will gladly block with this. Yep. Happily. Okay, now I think we still just want to draw a card. Maybe not. I think it's just maybe always better to do this. We're not blocking regardless next turn, so we might as well get our best creature in. Could be a baffling end, which is obnoxious, but... History. Nope. It's not a baffling end. Alright. Okay, now we get to do some stuff. So, I think we want to adapt. Just want to draw some cards. Alright. We're going to make other creatures than the elite big just because it's very likely that our opponent is going to want to kill those. So now we get 2 counters. 1 here. And honestly, I'm going to go both here. We're going to try to get this one really big so that it can block anything. Now we can block even Vanguard. So our opponent likely can't attack unless they do something else. That's something else. So I like just blocking here and taking the damage for now. That's of course very good, but not crazy bad for us. Now I think we'll just get this into play. We'll start boosting this. Now this is going to be the play where we just draw cards. But we really don't want to see another one of those. Alright. Now that's scary. Because now this doesn't actually chump block anything. Can we take 8? With this flying? I don't think so. Well, we do have this. I think we kind of have to. Yep. That card's good. Unbreakable Formation is a pain, especially when chained together. But now we know they don't have anything else. And we don't have to worry about Ascend yet. Well, that's a lie. If they do top deck Legion's Landing, that is 2 permanents, plus they could make a token. Yeah, Legion's Landing actually does ascend them. I don't know if we can realistically play around that yet. Next turn, I think we can, but this turn, we just got to build an army. All right, so 5/3. So we want something up to 6. So that means we have to put a counter on this. Ooh. Kind of like just playing this Deep Root Elite. Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, so we want it on this. Now we can block everything effectively. Legion's Landing kills us, but that's not a Legion's Landing. Alright, now they don't have much time before we turn the tables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, and now we have full control of this game as long as we don't blow it. I think 5, 6, 7, 8. So now History of Benalia also flips. So I think there's no real reason to start getting crazy aggressive. Well, maybe there is. What if we went double Mistbind? Double Mistbind pumps the team plus 10 power. 11, 12, 13, 14 power. So if we spread that across, everything is at 4, 5. Those would be 5/5s. Those would be 5/5s. Those would be 5. This would have to be blocked there. Pay 4. That would have to be blocked there. And then they'd be taking 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wait a minute. Well, I don't think there's a point in getting aggressive. I can't do the exact math. I think we could force one block, but I think it's a little aggressive, so we're just going to do this. Then we're going to cast Merfolk Trickster during their turn. And then next turn, double Mistbind to call it a win. We did it! I think this seems like a good matchup. It does not seem easy for White Weenie to beat creatures that just get so big so easily, you know? I mean, it's just, it's pretty tricky. Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't have as much faith in standard Merfolk until now. But, wow, that was a convincing 4-1. We got beat pretty badly in that 5th round against Sultai, but overall, this deck's the real deal. Everyone, I want to thank you so much for watching the games here. We're, of course, going to have the deck tech next, but I wanted to let you guys know if you wanted to see more action of this, more than likely, every Thursday, I end up streaming a little bit of the deck I played with dropping bombs. Also, I'm just a full-time streamer over at Twitch at CoreyB_MTG over there, so come check me out there, and then stay tuned for the deck tech, and then we'll see you all next week. Later, and welcome to the deck tech, everyone. Okay, I'm not going to give any spoilers for anybody who wanted to check out the things first, but we had some sweet games, and this deck is sweet. So I highly recommend giving this deck a shot. I mean, it's a blast. It's powerful. It does great things. There's certain situations in boards where you just cannot come back from. There's certain cards that are really bad. We didn't play against Esper, which I think would be pretty scary. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it just seems like this is the kind of deck Control would love to play against. And that spells to me why there's so much counter magic in the board, because that match, they need a little bit of help. So, all right, we'll get to the main here. A lot of great one-drops, something that we don't really have in Standard outside of Merfolk, which makes this deck stand out a bit. All of these cards do something great. A 1-mana 2-2, very strong. Even Mono Red doesn't have cards that are that good. I mean, their 1-mana 2-2 is very unconditional. It's not a 2-2 on turn 1, so very different. Silvergill Adept, a card that has been very good in the past, just never really found a good home. Being able to play a 2-mana 2-1 that draws another card is a very powerful ability. Obviously, having a bunch of lords in this deck in the form of the Tyrant and Merfolk Mistbinder is just phenomenal. If these live and go unchecked, you just run away with the games. Same with Deep Root Elite. This card, this card we saw plenty of times in our games where, left unchecked, I was able to maneuver around all my opponent's mass removal spells that's conditional. What I mean by that is like Crinarium, Finality. I was able to just put enough counters, you have to put these counters on very selectively and very smart to just be able to get everything out of mass removal range, and then eventually you just overpower them in attack. It's very powerful tools. Trickster, we've seen this card be amazing. There's only a 2 of in here, which I thought was kind of funny. I mean, Mono Blue, the defective best deck, plays 4 of this, right? So why wouldn't Merfolk, a tier 2 strategy, or even tier 3? Because double blue is pretty tough, and there's more powerful stuff going on. And then Deep Root Waters is a card that allows you to gain threats that are going to not be able to be killed. And one of the most powerful sequences is like playing this on 3, and then on turn 4, this plus a 1-drop, and you have 3 Merfolks. As long as you have 2 other Merfolks, you start tapping them, and things get out of hand very quickly. Unclaimed Territory is something I want to mention as well. It's a phenomenal land right here. It fixes everything. There's really nothing that you can't cast in this deck. Counter spells maybe can be a little awkward, but it really is the glue, the nuts and bolts and glue that holds deck. Whatever analogy you want, this land kind of does it all. As far as the sideboard, like I said, we have a bunch of counter spells for Wrath of God decks. Disdainful Stroke's good against Sultai. I brought in some number of negates too to just stop finality. So we have a total of 8 counter spells. Another Merfolk Trickster when you want a little trickiness. Harpooners against Mono Blue. Is it Drakes? It's okay. It's not that great against the Phoenix version because killing Phoenixes obviously is not very good, but still a good card. Crushing Canopy for Niv Mizzet. Other Mono Blue decks, it's fine too. And then Tempest Caller for when you get a board stall. Basically like the Mirror, it's okay against Sultai. Did okay for us there. And overall, just creature matchups. But yes, this deck's the real deal. I'm going to be playing this deck a little bit more. I mean, I don't see why you shouldn't. You saw what we did to some people in here. Once again, I'm not going to give spoilers for people that like to watch this first. But this deck's the real deal. So I want to thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate y'all being here. Always fun to explore some new decks in Standard here before our next set comes out, which... it's coming out pretty soon. We don't have too much longer before we have more new cards to dish into this already exciting Standard format. So everybody stay tuned for next week. We will see you all with some more Standard spiciness on Droppin' Bombs. See you next week.